There are hundreds of thousands of ships out on our oceans right now, but a special few, well, they're more than just vessels. They are true masterpieces of engineering, floating revolutions that have completely pushed the boundaries of what we thought was possible. Think about it. Over 70% of our planet is covered in water. It's this vast, blue expanse just filled with mystery. So, what kind of secrets are hiding down there in the depths? And what incredible tools have we built to go find them? And that's exactly what we're going to explore. We're diving into ships that are so advanced they feel like they're straight out of the future, from floating labs to literal ghosts on the water that can just disappear. First up, we've got a vessel that has totally changed the game for marine research. This isn't just a ship, it's more like a high-tech, floating science city. It's called Proteus. The best way to think of Proteus is as the ultimate home base for oceanographers. It was built from the ground up to be this incredibly flexible platform, something that could adapt pretty much any scientific mission you can dream up. So how does it pull off this incredible versatility? Well, it's all in the design, which is completely modular. People have called it the Swiss Army knife of the sea because you can literally add or remove parts like they're Lego bricks. Need to do a deep sea dive? Just attach the submersible pod. Need a helipad or maybe a heavy-duty crane for another mission? Yep, you can swap those in too. It's this brilliant adaptability combined with a constant data link back to labs on shore that makes it such a revolution. Okay, so when you have a tool this powerful, the possibilities are just about endless, right? So what kind of secrets is a machine like Proteus actually helping us unlock? The answer is, well, just about everything. One day, it's out there charting global ocean currents. The next, its submersibles are diving deep to discover these bizarre creatures that live in total darkness. It's also right there on the front lines, monitoring the real-time effects of climate change. And, yeah, it even gets to do the really cool stuff, like hunting for lost cities and ancient treasures buried deep beneath the waves. Okay, now we're going to pivot. We're going from a ship designed to see everything to ships that were designed to never be seen at all. Let's get into the incredible engineering behind disappearing at sea. This is the Sea Shadow. It was developed in absolute secrecy back at the height of the Cold War, and it looked like something that belonged in a sci-fi movie. Its entire reason for being was to master the technology of invisibility. Basically, the Sea Shadow was a floating laboratory for stealth technology. It was built by the legendary Lockheed Martin, and its bizarre angular shape had one single purpose: to deflect radar waves away from the source. The goal was to make this ship look like a tiny blip on a screen, or just make it vanish completely. For years, they only tested it at night, a true ghost on the water. Now, all those secret experiments they did on the Sea Shadow, they weren't just for show. They were paving the way for the next generation. All that research and development led directly to this, the USS Zumwalt, the modern, fully operational peak of naval stealth technology. And if you want to understand just how valuable this tech is, just look at the cost. A single USS Zumwalt destroyer has a price tag of around $4.4 billion. That is an absolutely staggering investment in the art of not being seen. So what does all that money buy you? Well, for starters, it buys a warship that's as long as 2 football fields, but shows up on enemy radar as a tiny little fishing boat. It's got an all-electric power system so powerful that it could one day support laser weapons. And it's so highly automated that it operates with a tiny crew from a bridge that honestly looks like it was ripped right out of Star Trek. All right, so we've seen ships for science and ships for stealth, but what about ships that could change how we fundamentally live and interact with the ocean itself? Let's look at what's coming next. Now, just take a look at this. It might look like some kind of floating skyscraper, but this is the Sea Orbiter, and it is a radical new idea of what a ship can even be. Instead of sailing across the ocean, it's designed to be a vertical platform that just drifts with the currents, part research station, part underwater home. The whole point of the Sea Orbiter is to let scientists truly live in the ocean for months at a time, not just visit for a few hours. With more than half of its structure permanently underwater, it gives them this constant, uninterrupted window into the marine world. It's like they're living right there among the fish. But, reimagining our future with the ocean isn't just about how we live in it. It's also about how we interact with it. And some of the most exciting stuff is actually happening just above the surface. What you're looking at here is the future of maritime logistics, the cargo drone. Now, don't get me wrong, massive container ships will always be needed for bulk transport. But these drones, They're going to revolutionize the system. Just imagine, a ship or a remote island needs an urgent medical supply or a critical repair part. Instead of waiting days for a boat, a drone can launch from a port and make that delivery in minutes. It's all about blending sea and air to make our supply chains faster and way more responsive.
Okay, let's switch gears from the futuristic to the just unbelievably powerful. We're going to talk about a vessel that is defined by one thing and one thing only: pure brute strength. Meet the Blue Marlin.
So what kind of strengths are we talking about here? The Blue Marlin is what's called a semi-submersible heavy-lift ship, and it can carry a mind-boggling 75,000 tons. To put that into perspective, that's like carrying about 150 fully loaded Boeing 747s on your back. It's designed to move entire oil rigs or even other giant ships across the ocean. So how on earth does it pull off a feat like that? The process is actually brilliantly simple. First, step one, it floods these huge internal chambers called ballast tanks with seawater. This makes its main deck sink completely below the waves. Then, in step two, the massive cargo, in this case an oil rig, is floated into position right over that sunken deck. And finally, step three, the Blue Marlin pumps all that water back out of its tanks, rising up and lifting its colossal passenger clean out of the sea for the journey. It really is the lion of the sea. It's probably most famous for when it was called in to carry the damaged U.S. warship, the USS Cole, all the way from Yemen back home to the United States after a terrorist attack. It's the ship you call when something impossible needs to be moved.
For our final vessel, we're going to shift away from raw power and into pure artistry. Because sometimes a ship isn't just about getting from point A to point B, it's about creating a beautiful experience.
This is the Hamiko, and it's a water bus that cruises along the rivers of Tokyo. And as you can tell, it looks like it flew right out of a sci-fi anime. And that's because it was. It was designed by the legendary manga artist Leiji Matsumoto. He wanted it to look like a futuristic space capsule, turning a simple commute into a work of art. So let's just recap. We've seen a floating lab dedicated to science, a ghost ship built for stealth, a titan of pure strength, and a literal piece of floating art. Every single one of these incredible vessels just completely redefines what's possible on the water. Each of these marvels is really a testament to human ingenuity. We've managed to engineer vessels that can explore, hide, lift, and inspire out on the open ocean. It really makes you wonder, after we've engineered the sea, what great frontier will we engineer next?